Today I'm going to give you 3 top tips to improve inside 50 yards, because inside 50 yards is where you can lower those scores and of course reduce that handicap. Hi everyone, my name's James and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. And if you want to do just that, make sure you take 2 seconds, hit that subscribe button below and throw a like on this video if you feel like it's going to help. So 3 tips that can get us better from this kind of area. Anything inside 50 yards, one of the first things that we see so often is people who think, right, I'm going to stand here 50-50. I'm going to have 50% of my weight on my trail foot and 50% of my weight on my lead foot. Now, the big issue that happens here is as soon as we get people who stand 50-50, there's no real downward movement towards the ball. What we're trying to do here, so I've got a 56-degree wedge from the guys at Tacoma, and it's got a nice standard bounce on there. Essentially what I'm trying to do is have a descending blow onto that ball. So I want to hit the golf ball and then the turf. I don't want to hit just the golf ball. I don't want to hit, of course, the big ball behind the little ball. I don't want to hit the earth first. So what I want to do is have more like 70% of my weight just on that lead foot. So I want to make sure that I'm having a descending blow down into that golf ball. From there, once I do that, all I'm doing is letting the loft do the work for me. So you can see just how simple we've made that shot there. This isn't an easy shot. I don't think there's any easy shots in golf, but if you have the correct technique, you have the right arsenal of knowledge, you'll be able to hit nice, easy, simple shots like that. So that's the key thing that we see that people have that's a bit of a problem. One of the big problems that we see, you'll see that I had a nice little kind of interaction with the turf there. The golf ball was here and we've just descended down onto that. One of the things we see is when we have a full swing, we want to have what we call a weight transfer. So we load up to the top of the backswing and from there, we of course come back round into that lead side. Now, the reason we do that is because we're trying to create speed, we're trying to create power, we're trying to get that golf ball to go as far as possible with the golf club that we are using. Now, you'll see that when we played that shot there with the weight on the left side, or 70% of the weight on the left side, all we're actually doing is keeping that weight there. There's no weight transfer at all because all we're doing is rotating around that position. So once again, if I play you one, you'll see the weight's on that left side, and from there, again, it's a nice strike. The weight's on the left side and the ball releases out nicely. We've got exactly the same strike. Key thing there, we've got the same ball flight. It's popped out nice and low, and from there I know I can play those shots really, really simply. Now, another tip, this is the second tip of the 3, and something that can really, really help you here is we need to stand nice and narrow. So once again, we're not trying to create loads of club head speed. We're trying to create consistent club head speed to get a consistent launch, to get a consistent what, Bobby? Result. Exactly. If we can have a consistent distance and result, it's going to make it a lot easier for you guys to get that ball closer to that flag. So what I don't want to see is people who stand with that weight might be 70% on the left side, but as though you're going to hit a full shot. Because if you're stood really wide here and you're looking like you're going to hit a full shot from there, that can become problematic because you're too much in your way. You can't rotate around the axis that you've created. So you'll see people who stand nice and narrow around the greens. I think it looks a little bit more relaxed because from here we've got the weight on the left side and we can rotate freely around said axis there. So that makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot more simple. And again, all we're doing here is taking bits out of the golf game that we don't need. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We don't need to make it too difficult. We can make it nice and simple. So once again, we have that weight on the left side. We're stood nice and narrow. We're not stood too wide. If we stand too wide, the low point's going to be too far behind us and we're really going to struggle. So once again, nice and narrow, weight left, move the shoulders. And again, we have a nice consistent result with a low chip shot there that releases out. So they're 2 really simple, interesting points. Now the third point, again, is about rotation, again, is about consistency. But what we don't want to do is have too much wrist movement here. We don't want too much wrist hinge. We want it to be nice and free. We want it to be nice and flowing. But the last thing we want on a chip shot inside 50 yards, unless you're really trying to flop it up in the air, is too much wrist hinge. If I was trying to flop this up in the air, I'd of course stand wider. I'd still have that weight on the left side and I'd set the wrist here to be able to release that club down. That's going to pop the ball up in the air. But of course, that's not the percentage shot. That's the more difficult shot that when you get right looks very heroic. When you get wrong looks very, what does it look like, Chris? Poor. Looks very, very poor. So from here, all I'm doing, you'll see, this can work right the way up to 50 yards, 60 yards, even 70 yards with a low lofted club, is make sure that I'm letting the club set a little bit here. But apart from that, all I'm doing is letting that club flow. So once again, weight on the left side, nice and narrow, let the club flow, and you can see we've got, again, a nice consistent result. Guys, that's 3 top tips to allow you to play better golf inside 50 yards. If you've enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button below, and if you want to get good at golf, let us know what you want to know next. See you tomorrow.